Good morning and welcome to One Baha'i, that regular show where I just sit back and share a few personal thoughts about the Baha'i faith. It's nothing official, it's just me, one individual, one Baha'i. This morning I want to read a prayer. Now, I want to mention before I begin that I've been to a couple of devotional meetings, very rarely, where a Baha'i will share a prayer from their heart. They will speak what is most dear to them at the moment. And I've seen a couple of Baha'is occasionally, very rarely, say that as Baha'is we're not supposed to share our own prayers. We're supposed to use the revealed prayers from the messengers. Now, I've never seen that in the writings. I've seen where Shoghi Effendi says that the most potent prayers are the ones from the messengers. Naturally. But there's nothing wrong with sharing our own personal, heartfelt prayers. I pray that B goes away. And to those who do share their own prayers, I'm sorry, it's buzzing in my ear. To those who do share their own prayers, keep doing it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful way to express what is in your heart. Now there's a prayer I want to read. We all know it as beginning, "Make of me a hollow reed, from which the pith of self hath been blown." I want to talk about that phrase afterwards, but first I want to read this prayer, because most of us know the beginning, but we don't know the rest of it. I have left behind me impatience and discontent. I will chafe no more at my lot. I commit myself wholly into thy hands, for thou art my guide in the desert, the teacher of my ignorance, the physician of my sickness. I am a soldier in my king's army. I have given up my will to him, and my life is his to dispose of as he may please. I know not what fate thou designest for me, nor what work thou hast ordained for me, nor will I enquire, nor seek to know. The task of the day suffices for me, and all the future is thine. Little by little thou trainest me. Little by little thou changest weakness to strength, doubt to faith, perplexity to understanding. When I am fit to bear the burden, thou wilt lay it on my shoulders. When I am prepared to take the field, thou wilt assign me a place in thy army of light. Now, I have no other duty than to equip myself for thy service. With eagerness and patience, with hope and gratitude, I bend to the task of the hour, lest when thy call to battle comes, I be found unready. It's a beautiful prayer. It's often attributed to Abdul-Baha, which is why many people read it at Baha'i prayer gatherings. But it's actually from George Townsend, except for that first line, "Make of me a hollow reed." Nobody knows where that line comes from. At some point it was appended to this prayer by some of the friends. Don't know why. I love the line. I love the prayer. We all do. But I want to talk this morning about what it means to be a hollow reed. We often think of the hollow reed as a flute or panpipes. You know, you get the reed and you ream it out and make it a hollow tube. You add the holes, you blow into it, or you blow in the top. But you know, a hollow reed is also sometimes used like a hose, like a watering hose. It's used to guide water. And when I think of it in that manner, it takes on a very different context for me. I believe, and this is again just my own thoughts, I believe that we can look at our prayers like a hose. We have that divine cistern up top with all the divine waters. And we take our hose and we put it in, And then we have to place ourselves below. We have to have that position of humility, lowering ourselves so that the siphoning effect can carry the waters where we hope they will go. Sometimes we may have a friend who is sick, and so we say a healing prayer. And to me, this is like having a little potted plant in our garden, and we add a little water to it. And it's very effective. It's a very good way to water a garden, to water a plant. Sometimes we have a whole garden we need to water, so we'll hook our hose up to a sprinkler and cast the water all over the place, spraying at everything at once. And that's also very useful. But I was thinking, what if we don't direct our prayers? What if we are, well, let's say careless? I mean, sometimes we say general prayers, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if we're careless? What if we just turn on the hose and we're not really concerned? I'm looking at a garden hose on my right, and I'm thinking, well, it would probably flail and end up in the street. And it would water the street. Now, I might be disappointed with this. I might watch this hose and think, oh, all this effort for nothing. All I'm doing is watering the street. It may not have the desired effect of helping my garden to grow, but you know what? It would flow down the road to the drain, which would then go to a river, which would then go down to the ocean. And the water in that river has an effect. It feeds the plant life. It allows fish to grow. So even then it has an effect. I just may not be aware of it. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it stays on the street. But even then it has an effect because it evaporates and rises back up to that divine cistern. So it occurs to me that sometimes I may look for a desired effect, in which case it is up to me to put the hose where I want it. And other times, I might be unaware of its effect. Sometimes I may think it has no effect, and yet it does. It all helps. So I was thinking, make of me a hollow reed. And I realized that if I don't make myself that hollow reed, then the water can never go through it. It'll just get stuck. So my first job is to cleanse out my own soul, to allow those divine waters to flow. And then I have the option of directing those waters where I will. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. There was one other point I wanted to make, and I lost it. I can't remember what it is all of a sudden. Oh yeah. Going back to the hose analogy as opposed to the solid hollow reed, sometimes when we are praying, we're full of angst. We're anxious. And when I think about that, to me it's like if I had my garden hose and I'm gripping it really strong, well, even then I'm restricting the flow of the water. It can't necessarily get through in all its plenitude. But when I trust in the hose, when I relax and say those prayers and allow them to flow and to move, I believe that that's when they have the most potent effect. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you today. So thank you very much for joining me. As usual, if you feel like it, you can hit the subscribe button or the like button. I've been told it makes a difference in how people are able to find these videos, so, if you can. If not, well, that's fine. Just enjoy the day and say those prayers and keep safe. We'll talk soon.